Hello beautiful students, welcome to Live Class Mentors. My name is Sonika Seni, Faculty of Social Science. So in the previous chapter or the previous video, we have started with the rise of nationalism in Europe, and we have developed various key understandings. We have developed various key concepts, and so हमने क्या पढ़ा था last class में? We have read about the French Revolution. We have read that why French Revolution was started. We have done the background of Louis XVI, three estates general. Then we have understood the basic definitions or the keywords that what is the meaning of nationalism, what is the meaning of democracy or democratic, what is the meaning of republic, monarch, right? We have done all these keywords in a holistic manner. As I told you that we are not going to cram, right? Besides that, we are also will be talking about all the basic understandings so that you don't have to cram anything, correct? Now today we will be dealing with Napoleon Bonaparte, that after the French Revolution he came into the picture and how he tried conquesting the border countries that is bordering what? France. And what is happening, right? What changes did he bring, right? What changes did he bring, and why people or the bordering countries were not happy with him, why they were not happy, right? What was going hand in hand? So we will be dealing with all these aspects. Let's come back again to the timeline which I have dealt again. I'm dealing it again. We have basically talked about this, that in 1789 there was a French Revolution. In 90s, what is happening, that French army is basically marching to the other countries. Why are they marching? They are basically expressing, or they were known as harbingers of liberty, right? They were known as harbingers of liberty. We will be studying that now, that these harbingers of liberty were not harbingers of liberty. Why? Because with them they were taking other notions also, right? Harbingers of liberty, other countries thought that, okay, these French armies are coming to us, they are bringing cute, new, beautiful ideas of what? Liberty, equality, and what? Fraternity. They will basically sort us. They will make our administration system efficient. But that was not happening. There were other things they were also bringing. We will be studying that. Then Napoleon Code of 1804. We'll be studying us code mein kya tha. Okay? It is important that what was a Napoleon Code? What were the changes which he brought? Then Napoleon loses the Battle of Leipzig. Its pronunciation is Leipzig. The corridor of Rhineland, हम ये पढ़ेंगे, and then the fall of Napoleon. We have studied about the famous painting of 1840. That was in the initial chapter. In the initial of chapter, we have done this. Also, we have also done about the Ernest Renan. What is a nation? What is a nation and what is nationalism as per him? So, these two sections we have already done. This we have already done. Today, we will be dealing with the Napoleon Code and the war which was he fighting. Let's start our class. So this is a beautiful PPT. This is a beautiful picturization of Napoleon Bonaparte, and he is shown as a macho man and he-man, that I'm going to conquest the entire Europe. These are my countries and all of that. So entered the conquest of 1804, the return to monarchy, evolutionary mechanics. So what is happening over here is that when there was a French Revolution, when people started making national assembly, they didn't want what? They didn't want these three estates. They want to make their own laws. They wanted that all citizens shall have equal rights. He came into the picture, right? He came into the picture and he said that I will destroy democracy. But everything. See, understand one thing, in this entire world, in this polity, economy, whatever you name it, whenever someone is trying to take your rights, they will always try to give you something so that you are pacified, you are at peace. For example, if you know about the nationalism in India, the Britishers followed the carrot and stick approach. That means on one hand, they will give you carrots. Okay, we will make some changes in the constitution. We will give you certain seats, and stick approach, that we will repress your ideas. So on the other hand, Napoleon was shana, right? He was very intelligent. He said that, okay, I will take the democracy, but I will bring certain administrative changes that is more efficient. We will read now what were those changes that he brought. That is known as Napoleon Bonaparte Code. Okay, that is known as what? Napoleon Bonaparte Code. So this was the code of 1804. Which year? 1804. When 1789 French Revolution happened. So what is the difference? In in these 90s, when these ideas were spreading, he came into the picture. In 1804, he brought his code. What was the code? Abolished all privileges based on birth. So, okay, he said that, okay, you are right. I'm not going to give you all those privileges to the kings. Let's do one thing. We are not going to give these privileges based on birth. He abolished it. That means he said, yes, he agreed that, yes, all citizens are equal. He said that, okay, all citizens are equal. Number one. Then, number two, establish absolute equality before law, which means that no one is above the law, whether it's king, whether the person from the royal family, whether the commoners, whether the first estate, second estate, all are equal. So these are basically what? Complementing points. These are complementing points. What? That you do not have any privileges by birth. Why? Because everyone is equal before the law. Third, secure the right to property. That means now anyone can purchase the property. Anyone can purchase and do sale of the property. It's not that royal kings will control it. Okay. Then they abolish the feudal system. What is feudal system? Now NCERT says that there is a feudal system. But what is feudal system? Feudal system is a system, right? Feudal system is a system that has landlords, right? That has landlords. Landlords of what? Lands. Lords of lands plus peasants. That means peasants are working on the lands of the landlords, and they are getting only minor portion of their wages or maybe some kind of grains or in return, right? So they are working on the landlords, and it was very oppressive system. Why? Because they were getting very lesser amount of what they were working. In fact, they were forced to work on their lands. They had to pay a large amount of taxes, or let's say they were lands of peasants and they were forced to pay taxes to the landlords, and those taxes were very high in amount. Now see what is happening. Peasants from serfdom. Serfdom क्या होता है? Serfdom is basically forced work. Serfdom means, let me write, serfdom means forced work. So he says that serfdom nahi chalega. Serfdom nahi chalega. Kyun? Because you're forcing the peasants to work on the particular amount of time on the particular lands. They were basically a kind of, you can say that serfdom is a kind of peasant slavery. It was a kind of peasant slavery. It said that I'm going to end this feudal system. I'm going to free peasants from this serfdom, and removed guild restrictions. What is guild? Guild is a group of merchants. You should be aware. What is guild? It means group of merchants. So they had certain restrictions. For example, you have to sell this particular product in this market. You have to sell this as per this standard weight. You have to sell this at this standard measures. So there were guild restrictions, right? There were taxations. So basically he freed guild from the restrictions. He freed peasants from the serfdom, and he said that there shall not be any feudal system. Got my point? So these were the 4 points. 1, property, right? Or let's start from there. There shall not be any privileges based on birth. Second point, equality before the law. Third point, secure the right to property. And fourth point, abolish feudal system and serfdom and guild restrictions. So if someone asks you what are the 4 points that you have to mention as per the Napoleon Bonaparte Code 1804, you must be able to revive all these facts. Let's continue to the another thing. Now what is happening, that these were the, as I told you in my previous slides, that what is happening, the ideas of liberties. Now this is France. See, these ideas of liberty are transcending to Holland, Belgium, Switzerland and Italy, right? How? See, Napoleon Bonaparte wanted to conquest the entire Europe. Okay, he wanted to conquest. He wants to go to each and every aspect, and basically he want to make the territories under his rule, right? He wanted to make the territories under his rule, and for that reason he sent his armies to the bordering countries, to the neighboring countries. What is happening? Now when these armies conquested these countries, they brought, or they basically transcended the ideas. They transcended the ideas of what? Napoleon Bonaparte Code. What he said? Equality. All citizens are equal. Feudal system nahi hona chahiye. Everything shall be like serfdom. There shall not be serfdom. You shall have the right to property. Now see, if I'm a beginner, I am residing in the country, French armies are coming and they're bringing such beautiful ideas. I'll be like, wow, very happy. Okay, they have certain beautiful ideas. I will try to imbibe with it. So they were known as harbingers. What is harbingers? Messengers, right? Harbingers means messengers. So they were the messengers of, they were known as the messengers of liberty. Okay, wait a minute. Right? So initially in many places the French armies were welcome and they were known as saviors bringing freedom from despotic rule. That okay, they will bring us freedom. ये हमें आज़ादी दिलाएंगे from the despotic rule of whom? The kings. Because in those countries there were kings, right? And they thought that from this despotic rule, from this authoritarian rule, they will bring freedom to us. But क्या ये हुआ? We will be studying in our next slide. So सी ये मैप हम बाद में करेंगे, एक बार हम ये करते हैं जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया. See, those people thought that now they will bring us freedom, they will bring us liberty, but when they were bringing such ideas, certain other things were also happening, right? Even in the France and those other countries, like let's say France, discord was there, no doubt discord was there, but there were other things also which didn't go hand in hand. अगर आप liberty दे रहे हो, but on the other hand you are providing stick to us, you're providing something which is not good, people will not be happy, they will not be happy, right? If your parents give you something gift and then they basically give something which is bad to you, then you will not be happy, right? So what is happening over here is that number one, they increase taxation. They increase taxation to fund the empire. Now this burden of taxation will be to whom? To all the people, to the commoners, to the middle class, to the merchants, to the business persons, and to the workers. So on the other hand, they were saying that the citizens are equal. On the one hand, they were saying, okay, I am going to increase the taxation. Number two, the initial enthusiasm soon turned into hostility. Hostility means the kind of they were not wanting such kind of reforms. Hostility means they were not happy with those reforms. It became clear that the new administrative arrangements did not go hand in hand with political freedom. On one hand, you are saying you're giving political freedom. On the other hand, you are basically, what you are doing, you are increasing our taxes. You are increasing what? Our taxes, and that is putting a lot of burden. Number three, strict censorship. That means people were not able to express themselves. What do you mean by censorship? See, I'll tell you in simple terms. Censorship, right? In simple terms, censorship means whatever you are publishing it, right? Whatever you are publishing it, let's say in the newspaper, whatever you are publishing it, let's say on social media or on the print media, you were not allowed to express your views. Censorship means you are not allowed to express your views. For example, if you're posting something on your WhatsApp and your parent says that, okay, don't do that, you're not allowed to post such reels, okay? So that was the censorship. So this means censorship. So when there was strict censorship, how you are going to express yourself? That means this is a loss of political freedom. Number four, forced conscription. What do you mean by conscription? When those European citizens were forced to join the armies, right? So you know that Napoleon Bonaparte was conquesting the entire Europe. He was trying that. So what was he asking? He was asking, okay, France people, join the army. So it was a forced conscription, which means these European citizens were forced into French armies to conquer the rest of the Europe. So let's repeat it. Number one, increased taxation. Number two, the hostility, it became hostile. Why? Because those administrative arrangements. Which administrative arrangements? The code, the equality, the citizens, right? And the right to have the property. Those arrangements were not going hand in hand with this political freedom because there was censorship and there was forced conscription. Are you able to relate these 2 points? Napoleon Code versus why people were not happy. Got my point? Okay. Now, so before that, I will try to show you the map. Now, ma'am, why are we studying the map? There is no such map in the NCERT. हम क्यों पढ़े ये map? See, you do not have to cram any of the things out of this map. Only I have brought this to bring you some basic understanding that what was happening, right? What was happening. Now, this is the map, not the present day map. This is the map of, as you can see, during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte, right? That is 1800 and approximately 11. So this is the France Empire, right? This is the France Empire. So in your NCERT books, when those countries are named as Italy, Holland, Netherlands, right? Holland is a Purana name for Netherlands today. Remember this, right? Now, and Germany. So these were the old names What do you have to cram? No, you don't have to cram. It is just an understanding perspective. Now, suppose क्या यहीं पे है, ठीक है? Napoleon Bonaparte is a French. He is sending his army to these countries. Now, this is the kingdom of Italy. This is the kingdom of Italy and kingdom of Naples. This is present day Italy, right? This is present day what? Italy. Now, this kingdom of Westphalia and Confederation of Rhine. Rhine river जाते हैं यहाँ से, it is known as Confederation of Rhine. So this too is present day what? This too is present day Germany. So in your NCERT books, you can see that Napoleon Bonaparte is trying to conquest these countries, which Germany, Italy, and previously there was two countries over there. Two countries. One was Netherlands, present day Netherlands, or old Holland, right? Holland and Belgium. You don't have to cram this. I'm repeating it again and again. You just have to understand it. Okay, this is France. Okay, this was Holland. This was Belgium, present day Netherlands. This is what? Present day Germany. This is Italy. Now, this map is basically, wait a minute. So this map is showing that kingdoms and states under direct control of Napoleon. So this state, right, kingdom of Italy, Austrian Empire and Switzerland. See, this is Switzerland. So this was under the direct control of Napoleon Bonaparte. This was under the direct control of Napoleon Bonaparte. And this is what? The French Empire. This is under the direct control. And he is trying to control this, right? If you see this circled with the blue, it is a blue. This is basically controlled and this is conquered. So this was conquered. This red bordering is conquered. Conquered, Confederation of Rhine and Kingdom of Naples. Just to draw an understanding for you, right? Now, see. Now we will come to our next slide. We have done this. Now, what is happening? The Napoleon represented as a postman. So this is a picture which was being given in your NCERT. It is a very beautiful picture. What it says that he हार गया वो, ठीक है? He lost the battle. Rhineland is the name of the city. Rhineland is the name of the. So basically हमने अभी किया था, ठीक है? मैं आपको दिखा देती हूँ. That is the present day Germany, right? Confederation of Rhineland. Okay. Right? Then Holland, that is why I told you, Holland, Belgium, north of France. Switzerland, okay, Poland, Westphalia, which is present day Germany. So basically this picture is depicting that, okay, he is depicted as a postman. He is depicted, all the papers are going out of his bag. That means he has lost what? He has lost what? He has lost the war. He has lost the war. He is not able to conquer it. Okay. He is not able to conquer it. I think it's not. So, returning to France after losing the battle of what? Leipzig. The battle of Leipzig. He lost the battle of Leipzig in what? In 1813. Napoleon कब आया था? In 1802. So in 1830, when he was conquesting the entire Europe, he was trying to, so he was not able to do the entire. So 1813, he lost the battle of what? Leipzig. Each drop letter is basically the names of the territories which he lost. So he lost Westphalia, Poland, Spain, Switzerland, Holland, Belgium and Rhineland. Got my point? That is why I showed you map previously. So, चलिए. Now, this is basically for the understanding perspective. The Napoleonic court, a double-edged sword, I have already told you, right? This thing. What he brought? Equality before law, end of feudalism, standardized currency, and of what? Serfdom also, right to property. He brought all these changes so as to make the administrative what? Efficient. And one was right to property. So you can relate it. And what are the political losses? He increased, or he had put the heavy taxation on people, censorship and forced conscription. That means force किया जाता था to have in the armies, So what were citizens saying? Citizens saying they took away our chains, but they also took our sons for their armies. They took away the chains of what? Taxation, censorship. और हमारे sons भी ले लिए for the forced armies, for the conquesting, right? So this, now we have done we have done, jahan tak hi mujhe karwana tha, this was the first section of Rise of Nationalism in Europe. This is basically the conclusion of it. This is the conclusion. The conclusion says that there was a dream in 1789 about what? French Revolution, where we wanted sovereignty of the people, where we wanted for the equal rights, where we wanted that this absolute monarch shall end. This absolute monarch shall end. And people should make rules for themselves. The reality. What was the reality? Centralized. Centralized power. What was the centralized power? Napoleon. He took all his powers in his hands. Napoleon Bonaparte. Right? State power, imperial expansion, that means conquest of expansion. As I said, that those people thought that these French armies are bringing so many good things to what? But they were conquesting it. They were despotic rule. Military conquest. Military conquest. So, in that, the synthesis, the modern nation state, a powerful centralized administration engineered to unify a population through shared symbols, uniform laws, and a manufactured collective identity. So, somewhere this was the dream, and this is happening right now. If you synthesize both, then it is the modern nation state. The modern nation state says that this. What is happening over here? The mix of both. There is a centralized administration of Napoleon Bonaparte. There is unifying population because of the dream. They wanted their all equal rights, shared symbols, and uniform laws. So what is the conclusion? We can say that the French Revolution birthed the idea of the nation. I have already told you what do you mean by nation. People coming from the same historical background, same common glory, having that we are going to live in this country with the same notions, same unity, same brotherhood, then it is known as a nation, right? But it was a mechanics of empire that forced the modern state apparatus. So this is known as the modern state apparatus. And this is known as the nation. Sorry, this is the reality, whereas this is the nation of the dream. So when we synthesize both, it became modern nation state. Now the state is not a nation yet. It is just a centralized. It is not, why it is not a nation? Because still the power is centralized. Still the power is centralized. That is why it is known as modern state. Okay. So this is the revision. This is the revision which we can do, right? This is the revision which we can do, that what was the French Revolution and how it, what were the things. These are the slides that is representing your revision. If you want, these slides can be provided to you for your mind maps. Now this is how we will be providing mind maps in our classes also, where you can revise the entire chapter and you can write on it. You can write on it that this is the French Revolution, where they brought such kind of symbols. This is the Napoleon Code, and this is a philosophy of what we have done the picture of nationalism, and what the first picture, and then that was a backlash, and how this unification happened, what was done, right? This is the chronology tracker which we have done it 2 times, correct? And you can revise your entire chapter in these 10 points. So that's it guys for this class. These mind maps will be provided to you on the Telegram channel. You can join our Telegram channel, that will be provided to you in the description box. I hope you like the session. We will be continuing our section 2 of the same chapter. Till then, keep studying, keep enjoying your summer vacations. Bye-bye.